Milo was not sure what to do with Rena. He had fought battles, fixed machines, and even survived space storms. But now, living in a quiet room with an alien woman who had once been the enemy, that was something no training had prepared him for. She didn't ask for anything. She didn't try to speak unless spoken to. She sat still most of the time, watching and listening. When Milo left the room, she cleaned. When he came back, she stepped aside. But Milo didn't want a quiet shadow following him. He wanted to talk. He wanted to understand. "You don't have to act like this," Milo said one evening. "You don't have to clean or stay quiet." Rena looked at him calmly. "It is how I was trained. I didn't ask for training." "I'm not your master." "You are not," she agreed. "I am still in your care." Milo frowned. He didn't want this role. He didn't want someone afraid to live freely. "What would you do if you were free?" he asked. She paused. "I would leave." "Then go," he said gently. She shook her head. "It's not that simple. My people see me as dishonored." "Your people see me as a threat." "Where would I go?" Milo had no answer. Days passed. The station was filled with activity. Soldiers were going home. Warships were being repaired. Peace talks were slow, but still going on. Milo tried to return to normal duties, but he was no longer a regular soldier. People recognized him now. Officers wanted reports. Journalists sent messages. Some even asked about the alien gift. He didn't like that word. Rena was not a gift. She was a person. One morning, Milo woke up early and found Rena sitting near the window, holding a small device in her hand. "What's that?" he asked. "A memory stone," she replied. "It holds recordings of my past. Oh, my sister gave it to me. Can I see?" Rena hesitated, then handed it to him. He touched the surface and a soft light appeared. A small image floated above the stone. Two alien girls laughing in a field under a purple sky. "That's you?" Milo asked. "Yes," Rena said. "And my sister. Before the war, you looked happy." "We were," she said, "before everything changed." Milo handed it back with care. "Thank you for showing me." She gave a small nod. "I want you to know I was not always like this. I had dreams too. I believe you." Later that day, Milo took Rena to the station's common area. It was risky. Aliens weren't often seen outside private rooms. Some humans looked at her with caution. A few stared. But Milo walked beside her, proud and calm. They sat at a table near the viewing glass. Stars glowed outside. "You ever see Earth from orbit?" Milo asked. "Only in pictures," she said. He smiled. "You're about to see the real thing." As they sat, a group of human soldiers nearby whispered among themselves. One of them, a tall man with a scar on his jaw, stood up and walked over. "Hey, Milo," the man said. "That your new pet?" Milo stood up, eyes hard. "She has a name. It's Rena." The man smirked. "You really trust an alien sitting beside you? After what they did?" Milo didn't flinch. "She's not like the ones who started the war." Man leaned closer. "They're all the same. Don't forget that." Rena stood up quietly. Her voice was calm. "If I wanted to harm him, I had many chances." The man looked surprised. Then, without another word, he walked away. Milo turned to Rena. "You didn't have to say anything." "I know," she said. "But I wanted to." That night, back in their room, Milo sat on the edge of his bed. "Thanks," he said.
For
"Speaking up." "I didn't do it for you alone," Rena replied. "I did it for myself." He looked at her. "You're stronger than you look." She tilted her head slightly. "And you're kinder than most humans I've met." They both smiled, just a little. Later, Rena asked, "Why didn't you reject me?" "I wanted to," he said honestly. "But when I saw you, you didn't look like someone who wanted to serve. You looked like someone trapped." She nodded slowly. "You were right. Still don't know what the future holds," he added. "But I don't want you to feel like a burden." Rena looked at him, serious now. "Then let me be useful. I can read your data systems. I know alien codes. If I sit in silence all day, I feel lost. But if I help, maybe I can belong at least a little? Milo thought for a moment. Then he nodded. All right, I'll talk to command. Maybe there's something you can work on. Thank you, she said. The next morning, Milo met with a tech officer and requested clearance for Rena to help with ship diagnostics. At first the officer hesitated, but after some pushing and reminding them who Milo was, they agreed to try. That afternoon, Rena was given access to a small control panel in a safe test zone. Within minutes, she found 3 system errors the humans had missed. She's good, the tech officer admitted. Milo smiled. I told you. As the day ended, Milo and Rena returned to their room. Today felt different, Rena said. Better. She nodded. Yes, like I took the first step. Milo leaned back in his chair. Then we keep going. One step at a time. Outside the window, Earth slowly came into view. A blue, shining world of oceans, clouds. In hope, they both stared at it for a long time. And for the first time since the war ended, they both felt like maybe they had a place in the peace that was just beginning. The war had lasted for 5 long years. Earth and the Zarnak Empire had fought in deep space, across moons and over ruined planets. Millions had died. Ships had burned in orbit. Cities had turned to dust. The humans had been outnumbered, but they never gave up. They fought with fire in their hearts and hope in their blood. One soldier, Milo, was part of Earth's final mission. He was not a famous commander or a rich officer. He was just a simple ground soldier, trained to fight, survive, and protect. But in the last battle, he did something brave. When the main commander was killed, Milo took charge of his unit. He led them into the Zarnak capital tower and planted the signal beacon. That beacon allowed human ships to strike the heart of the enemy base. Because of Milo's courage, the Zarnak surrendered. Their emperor stepped down. Their war machine stopped moving. Peace talks began. Earth called its soldiers back. Milo returned home in silence. He didn't feel like a hero. He remembered too many fallen friends. But when he landed on Earth's main orbital station, he was surprised. He was greeted with cheers and medals. Reporters tried to talk to him. Officers saluted him. And then something strange happened. A group of Zarnak diplomats arrived. Their long gray robes and tall figures made everyone nervous. They bowed to the human leaders and said, "To show our peace, we offer gifts to your brave warriors." One by one, they called soldiers forward and gave them items. Rare minerals, alien weapons, ancient books. But when Milo's name was called, the gift was not a thing, it was a person. A young alien woman stepped forward. She wore simple blue robes and kept her head low. Her silver skin shone under the lights. Her long dark hair was tied behind her neck. She said nothing. "This is Rena," the Zarnak leader said. "She is trained in service, loyal, skilled. She will follow you. A reward for your bravery." Milo was stunned. He looked at the alien woman, then back at his commanders. "I don't want a servant," he said, quietly but clearly. The Zarnak bowed again. "She cannot return to our world. Our people will not accept her now. It is mercy. To let her live in your care." Milo felt a knot in his stomach. What? Was this right? Was she really a gift? A prize, it felt wrong. But when he looked at Rena again, she raised her eyes. There was no fear, no hatred, only calm, and maybe something else. Sadness. They were taken to a guest room inside the station. Rena sat in a corner. She said nothing. Milo paced the room, unsure what to say. "You don't have to stay here," he told her. "I have no home to return to," Rena replied. Her voice soft but firm. "You're not my property," Milo said. She nodded once. "Understand, but I have nowhere else. If I leave, I will be hunted. If I stay, I can at least survive." Milo sighed. "You're not here to serve me." Rena looked up at him. "Then what do you want from me?" He didn't know how to answer that. "I want peace," he said. "And I want to understand." The next day, Milo met with a human officer. "You can release her," the officer said. "She'll be taken to an alien refugee center." "And what happens there?" The officer hesitated. Some are sent back. Others disappear. It's complicated. Milo frowned. I tease ya. She saved my life already. She warned me of a trap during the gift ceremony. The officer raised an eyebrow. Then keep her close. Just don't forget who she is. I won't, Milo replied. But maybe it's time we stop seeing aliens as enemies. That night, Milo brought Rena food from the station's dining hall. She was sitting by the window, staring at the stars. You miss your world? He asked. No, she said. He sat beside her. Before the war, she said slowly, I wanted to become a pilot. But my people chose war instead of dreams. I wanted to be an engineer, Milo said with a small smile. But then war came, and they handed me a gun. She looked at him for the first time. Really looked. They sat in silence for a while. Don't know what's next, Rena said. Me neither, Milo replied. But we're alive, she said. Yes, he nodded. Or maybe that's a start. Life on the space station moved slowly after the war. Most soldiers were packing up, ready to return to Earth or to other colonies. Some were assigned to guard duty, others to peacekeeping teams. Milo didn't have a clear assignment yet. He waited for orders. But he wasn't waiting alone anymore. Rena, the alien woman who had once been called a gift, now stood beside him as something more. A helper, a quiet thinker, and a presence he was slowly beginning to trust. Still, not everyone trusted her. It started with whispers. People stared when they passed in the hall. Some kept their hands near weapons. Others simply walked the other way. A few nodded at Milo in respect, but their eyes never left Rena. Inside the ship's control center, where Rena had started helping with data systems, a technician named Lara gave her cold looks every day. I don't like that she's reading our files, Lara told Milo one afternoon. What if she's sending messages to the Zarnok? She's not, Milo replied. How do you know? I know her, he said. She saved my life twice. It's more than most people here. Lara crossed her arms. People don't change that fast, Milo, especially not the ones raised in war. Milo didn't answer. He just turned and walked away, feeling a weight on his chest. That night, Rena was quiet. She sat at the desk, reading reports. Her fingers moved fast over the screen. She barely blinked. You okay? Milo asked. I'm used to being watched, she said. I just didn't expect it here. Milo sighed. They're scared. The war taught them to fear people who don't look like them. Fear is easier than trust, Rena said. But fear also makes people blind, he nodded. They'll come around. They just need time. Rena looked up. Time doesn't heal all wounds. But it gives them a chance, Milo replied. The next day, something strange happened. Milo and Rena were assigned to a cargo check in one of the lower hangars. It was a quiet area, far from the busy command decks. They scanned crates and checked lists. But when Milo opened one of the crates, his eyes narrowed. It was filled with parts, but not human parts. These were Zarnok tech pieces, forbidden weapons, hidden carefully under metal plates. This shouldn't be here, Milo said. This is old Zarnok battle tech. Rena looked inside. Her face became serious. These are war modules. Illegal. Now under the peace agreement, Milo tapped his communicator. Control, this is Sergeant Milo. I found something in Storage Bay 7. You need to send someone down here. There was a pause. Then a voice said, understood, sending security. 15 minutes later, 2 guards arrived, but they weren't from the normal security team. Milo didn't recognize their faces. They looked tense. We'll take it from here, one of them said. Milo stepped forward. Where's Officer Griggs? He handles storage checks. Busy, the man replied. We're under his orders. Rena moved closer to Milo. She whispered, they're lying. Milo felt it too. Something wasn't right. He placed a hand on his sidearm. I want Griggs here now. The guard's eyes narrowed. Wrong answer, one of them said. reaching for a hidden weapon. But Rena moved first. She pushed one guard off balance with a sharp kick and grabbed the weapon from the other. Milo took down the first man quickly. A moment later, both guards were on the floor, disarmed. Milo called backup. Real security arrived in minutes. The fake guards were arrested. Later, it was confirmed a rogue group inside the station had been trying to smuggle old Zarnok weapons to restart the war. Milo was called to the command center the next day. The station commander, a sharp-eyed woman named Colonel Hera, met him in a private room. "You and the alien woman stopped a serious breach," she said. "That was good work." "Her name is Rena," Milo said. Hera nodded. "Yes, Rena. We'll give her access to more systems. You've proven she's useful." "She's not just useful," Milo replied. "She's part of this team." Hera leaned back. "You're asking a lot from people who lost everything in the war." "I lost people too," Milo said. "But if we keep seeing others as enemies forever, then what did we even win?" The colonel was silent for a moment. Then she said, "Fine, but if anything goes wrong again, it's on you." "I'll take that risk," Milo said. That evening, Milo returned to their room and told Rena everything. She sat quietly, listening. "Thank you," he said. "You saw the truth when I didn't." Rena gave a small smile. "That's what trust is. You watch my back, I watch yours." Milo looked at her with new respect. "Did you ever think about joining the Peace Corps?" She raised an eyebrow. "Me? A soldier?" "Not a soldier. A peace officer. You could help stop more trouble before it starts." Rena looked thoughtful. "Maybe, but one step at a time, remember?" Milo smiled. "Yeah, one step at a time." Outside their window, a comet passed through space, its light bright, its trail long and glowing. They stood together, two former enemies, now allies. Still strangers in many ways, but no longer alone. The space station had returned to quiet again. Since the smuggling attempt was stopped, security had been tightened. More guards now patrolled the lower levels. Command officers were alert. Everyone acted like things were safe again, but Milo had a strange feeling. He noticed Rena was sleeping less. She stayed near windows for hours, her eyes following every ship that passed. Her posture was stiff, like she was waiting for something or someone. "Are you all right?" Milo asked one night. Rena didn't answer right away. Finally, she said, "I feel a storm coming." Milo frowned. "What kind of storm?" Rena looked down. "The kind that follows people like me." 2 days later, their team was sent on a supply mission to a nearby moon base. It was supposed to be simple: deliver food, check sensors, and come back. Milo and Rena boarded a small human shuttle with 2 other crew members, a pilot named Dane and a comms officer named Leela. The trip was only a few hours as they flew. Rena stared at the empty space around them. "I don't trust this route," she whispered to Milo. "Why?" he asked. "It's too quiet," she said. "Too perfect." When they entered orbit around the moon, the ship's sensors began to glitch. The pilot tapped the screen. "We're getting some interference." "Must be the crater's magnetic fields." Checked her console. "We're losing contact with the station. Can you land safely?" Milo asked. The pilot nodded. "I'll try." But as they descended, 2 red signals flashed on the radar. "Wait," Rena said sharply. "Those aren't moon rocks. Those are cloaked Zarnok scout ships." Before anyone could react, the enemy ships uncloaked and opened fire. The shuttle shook violently. Lights flickered. Alarms rang. "We're hit," the pilot shouted. "Engines failing? Brace for crash," Milo yelled. The shuttle slammed into the moon's surface. Dust exploded. Metal screamed. The ship skidded across a rocky plain before, slamming into a jagged cliff wall. For a moment, everything was silent. Then Milo opened his eyes. Pain burned in his shoulder, but he was alive, Rena. He called out. "I'm here," she said. She was bleeding from her arm, but she was conscious. The pilot groaned, pinned under a broken console. Lila was trying to stop the bleeding from her leg. Milo helped Rena up. Together, they freed Dane and patched Lila's wound. The comms were broken. Engine was dead. They were stranded. Hours passed. The sun on the moon began to set. Long shadows stretched across the rocks. "We need to move," Rena said. "They'll come back." This wasn't a random attack. "What do they want?" Milo asked. Rena looked away. Me, as they hiked across the moon's surface. Rena told them the truth. There are Zarnak warriors who don't accept the peace. She said, "They call themselves the Flame of Honor. They believe surrender was shameful." "You were part of the peace offering," Milo realized. Rena nodded. "To them, I'm a traitor. They would rather kill me than let me live among humans." "Then they're not just here to cause trouble," Lila said. "They're here for you. And now all of us are in danger," Dane added. "No," Rena said. "They'll only chase me if I leave. You might survive." "You're not going anywhere alone," Milo said firmly. "We're a team," Lila agreed. Dane nodded. "We leave no one behind." Rena looked surprised. Then, slowly, she smiled just a little. They reached a canyon that offered shelter for the night. They used parts from the wreck to set up a heat shield and light cover. The moon was cold and danger was everywhere. Milo stood watch while Rena rested. But she didn't sleep long. She walked over and sat beside him. "You don't have to protect me," she said softly. "I'm not just protecting you," Milo replied. "I'm fighting for you." Rena looked at the stars above. "I used to look at those stars and wonder if there was a better life out there. And now?" he asked. "I think I found it," she whispered. Milo didn't say anything, but his chest felt heavy, not with fear, but with purpose. The next morning, they were attacked. Zarnak warriors dropped from above the canyon. Their armor was dark and sharp. Their weapons hissed with strange energy. Milo rolled into cover, firing back. Dane grabbed a fallen rifle. Lila threw a smoke grenade, but it was Rena who turned the tide. She ran toward the enemy with speed and skill. Her body moved like wind. She disabled one with a spin kick. She used broken metal like a blade. She knew their fighting style and used it against them. Milo fought beside her. Watching in awe, they pushed the attackers back, but not without wounds. Dane was hit in the leg. Milo's shoulder was bleeding again. The remaining attackers escaped. Into the shadows. "We need rescue," Lila said, breathless. "I've got a signal working," Dane said weakly. "I rerouted power from my scanner. It's weak, but it might reach orbit." Milo helped him set it up. Then they waited. Every second felt like hours. Finally, a human dropship arrived. Marines jumped down, weapons ready. They checked everyone, secured the site, and loaded the survivors. As they lifted off the moon, Milo looked down at the place where they had almost died, and where trust had been truly tested. Rena sat beside him, eyes closed. Her hands were bruised, but her heart felt lighter. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't running from her past. She was facing it and winning. The dropship flew through the black sky, heading back to the human space station. Inside, the soldiers sat quietly. Everyone had wounds, but they were alive. Milo leaned back in his seat, trying to keep pressure on his shoulder. Across from him, Rena sat with her hands folded, her eyes closed. She looked calm, but Milo knew better. She was thinking, always thinking. He looked over at her. "You okay, Rena?" Opened her eyes. "I'm fine. I've had worse," Milo said, with a small smile. Rena gave a tiny nod. "We were lucky." "No," Milo replied. "We had you." Back on the station, the medical team took everyone in for treatment. Dane's leg was badly injured, but fixable. Lila had burns on her arms. Milo's shoulder needed stitching. Rena had cuts and bruises, but she refused treatment until the others were safe. When a nurse insisted she lie down, she replied, "Let the humans go first." "You're one of us now," Milo told her. Rena looked surprised, but she didn't argue. Later that day, a full report was given to Colonel Hera. She read the file in silence. Then she looked at Milo and Rena standing in front of her. "Fought well," she said. "You saved lives. We've identified the attackers, rogue Zarnak fighters from a group calling themselves the Flame of Honor." "I've faced them before," Rena said quietly. The colonel nodded. You were there? Target, yes, Rena replied. Hey, we'll try again. Let them try, Milo said. Next time, we'll be ready. Hara leaned forward. You've proven yourselves, both of you. The council has decided to offer Rena official protection under the Human Alliance. You'll be given clearance, ID, and full status. Rena raised her head. I didn't expect that. You earned it, Hera said. You're no longer a reward, Rena. You're a hero. Rena said nothing, but her eyes softened. The next few days were quiet. Milo and Rena stayed in their room. Outside, peace talks continued. Ships came and went. People started to greet Rena. In the halls, carefully, politely, some still kept their distance, but others smiled. Progress was slow, but real. One evening, Milo and Rena stood by the viewing glass again, looking down at Earth. You ever want to go down there? Milo asked. I used to be afraid, Rena said. I thought your world would hate me, and now? I still think it might, she admitted, but I also think maybe some people wouldn't. Milo smiled. You've already made more friends here than most new recruits. Rena laughed softly. It was the first time he'd heard her truly laugh. The next morning, an emergency call came in. A supply ship headed to a nearby colony had lost power. It drifted near an asteroid field. A rescue team was being formed, and Milo volunteered. I'm coming too, Rena said. The officer paused. Is that allowed? Milo answered. She's cleared. Fully now. The officer nodded. All right, suit up. The rescue ship launched within the hour. Milo, Rena, and 3 other soldiers were sent aboard the damaged supply ship. Restore power and evacuate anyone still alive. But when they reached it, something was wrong. The lights were off. The outer hull showed signs of damage not from space rocks, but from weapons. Could be another trap, Milo said. I'll go first, Rena said, checking her scanner. No way, Milo said. We go together. They moved through the dark ship slowly. The air was thin. Sparks flickered from broken walls. A strange silence filled every room. Then, in the engine room, they found the crew unconscious, but alive. Poison gas had been used, and in the control room, a message was written on the wall in alien script. One traitor cannot hide behind humans forever. Rena read it out loud. Her voice was cold. They're still hunting me, she said. They'll hurt anyone near me to do it. Milo placed a hand on her shoulder. We'll stop them. Rena looked up. You still trust me? More than ever, he said. They fixed the engine just enough to stabilize the ship. The crew was evacuated, and the rescue team returned to base. That night, Rena didn't sleep. She stood at the window for hours thinking. When Milo finally spoke, she said, This won't stop. The flame of honor will chase me. Maybe I should. Leave. You think hiding will help? No, she admitted. But I don't want anyone else to get hurt. Milo stepped forward. We face this together. Always. She turned to him. Why do you care so much? Milo paused, then said, Because you care. Because you fight. And because I believe in you. Rena looked at him for a long time. Then she said, If we fight them, we fight to win. Then let's make a plan, Milo replied. The next day, they met with Colonel Hera and proposed a mission. Track the flame of honor. Find their base and stop them before they could strike again. It was risky, but the council approved it. If this works, Hera said, you won't just be a soldier, Milo, and you won't just be an ex-captive, Rena. You'll both be something new. We're ready, Milo said. Rena stood beside him, calm and clear. We're not just survivors anymore, she said. We're protectors. Outside the window, the stars glowed softly, peaceful for now, but full of secrets. The fire of war had changed them both, but now that fire would become their strength. Together. The space station buzzed with activity as Milo and Rena prepared for their mission. The council had approved their plan to find and stop the flame of honor. The rogue Zarnot group still hunting Rena. It was a dangerous task, but both were determined in the command room. Milo studied the maps and star charts. A hologram showed possible locations where the rogue group could be hiding. Most likely, they are in the Vexor system, Milo said. It's remote and full of asteroid fields. Perfect. For hiding? Rena nodded. Their fighters are fast and use hit-and-run tactics. We need to be careful. Colonel Hera entered the room. You leave tomorrow. The fleet will support you from orbit. Good luck. Milo looked at Rena. Ready? She smiled faintly. Always. For the mission, the ship was small but fast, equipped with the latest technology. Milo piloted while Rena handled communications and scans. The journey to the Vexor system was tense. Both watched their instruments closely, waiting for any sign of the Flame of Honor. After 3 days, Rena spotted a faint signal. There, a hidden base in the asteroid belt. Milo adjusted the course. Let's get closer. As they approached, the ship's sensors detected several enemy fighters. The Flame of Honor had patrols. Milo turned to Rena. We can't fight them all. Rena's eyes shone with determination. We don't have to. We use their fear. How? Rena explained. We disable their ships silently, one by one, and create confusion. Then we attack their base when they are weakest. Milo smiled. Sounds like a plan. Over the next 2 days, they worked carefully, using stealth technology. Rena hacked into enemy communication channels, sending false alarms and misleading messages. Milo used precise shots to disable fighters without killing their pilots, hoping to avoid unnecessary deaths. Slowly, the rogue group became confused and divided. One night, while Milo rested, Rena worked alone in the control room. She found something. Disturbing records of prisoners taken by the Flame of Honor, including captured humans and Zarnok civilians. This group is worse than I thought, she said quietly. Milo joined her. We stopped them soon. Finally, the moment came. With the rogue group distracted, Milo and Rena launched a surprise attack on the hidden base. Lasers flashed and ships exploded as they fought fiercely. Inside the base, Milo and Rena landed with a small team. They moved quickly through dark corridors. Rena led the way. Recognizing symbols and traps, suddenly, guards appeared. A fierce battle followed. Milo and Rena fought side by side, covering each other. Rena disabled weapon systems, while Milo protected the team at the center of the base. They found the leader of the Flame of Honor, a tall Zarnok warrior with angry eyes. You betray your own people, the leader shouted at Rena. You are weak. Rena stood tall. I choose peace, something you will never understand. Milo stepped forward. Your fight ends now. The leader charged. Milo and Rena worked together too. Stop him. After a hard struggle, the leader was captured. With the base secured, the prisoners were freed. Milo and Rena reported their success. The council praised them. For the first time, humans and Zarnak worked together openly to defeat the last enemies of peace. But not everything was easy. Some humans doubted Rena's loyalty. Some Zarnoks still hated her for choosing peace. Milo faced a choice: to protect Rena fully, or to follow strict orders that might send her away for her safety. He chose to stand by her. At a public meeting, Milo spoke clearly. Rena is not a threat. She is a symbol of what we can become together. I asked the council to recognize her as an equal, not as a gift or a prisoner. The crowd was silent, then slowly applause began. Rena smiled softly, tears in her eyes. That night, Milo and Rena stood together, looking at the stars. We made a difference, Milo said. Yes, Rena replied. But the choice to trust, that is the hardest part. Milo took her hand. Then we choose it every day. Rena squeezed his hand. Together, they faced the future, uncertain but full of hope. The space station buzzed with new energy. The war was over.
Ow.
The rogue threats were dealt with. And for the first time in many years, humans and Zarnok stood side by side, not as enemies, but as allies. Milo and Rena were at the center of this change. Rena walked through the corridors with a new badge on her chest. It was not a mark of service or captivity. It was a symbol of equal status, part of the Human Alliance Peace Corps. She smiled when soldiers greeted her politely. Some even asked for advice about Zarnak culture. Milo watched her with pride. She's come far, he thought. One morning, Milo joined Rena in the training hangar. Rena was learning to pilot. A new human ship, a sleek fighter designed for both speed and defense. The instructors watched closely as she tested controls, adapted quickly, mastered maneuvers. Milo clapped when she landed perfectly. "You'll make a fine pilot," he said. Rena smiled. "I never thought I'd fly among humans. Now, you lead the way." As the weeks passed, Milo returned to his duties as a human officer. His reputation had grown, not just for his bravery in battle, but for his courage in standing up for peace. He met many new people, humans and aliens, who shared his hope for a better future. One day, during a formal ceremony, the council honored Milo and Rena for their service. "You've shown us all," the council leader said, "that trust can build bridges stronger than any weapon." Rena stood beside Milo, holding his hand. Together they listened, their hearts full. But even in peace, challenges remained. Some factions on both sides still resisted change. Old fears and grudges surfaced in quiet corners. Milo and Rena knew their work was not finished. One evening, as they looked out at the stars from the station's observation deck, Milo spoke. "Do you ever miss your old home?" Rena nodded. "But I found a new home here." "Me too," Milo said. "We've built something better together." Suddenly an alert sounded. A nearby planet sent a distress call. Its colony was threatened by a natural disaster. Without hesitation, Milo and Rena volunteered for the rescue mission. The rescue was difficult. Fierce storms battered their ship, landslides blocked roads. But with teamwork and determination, they reached the colony. Rena used her pilot skills to guide evacuation ships through dangerous skies. Milo helped organize the rescue teams on the ground. Their courage saved many lives. When the mission ended, the colony leaders thanked them. "We owe you everything," one said. Milo smiled. "We all owe each other," Rena added. "Together, we are stronger." Back on the station, the rescue mission was a symbol of what was possible. Humans and Zarnak working as one. Enemies turned friends. Months later, Milo and Rena stood together at the station's entrance. They had been through war, fear, and loss. But now they looked forward to new adventures, new hopes, and a future where no one was a slave, prize, or an enemy. They were equals, partners, friends, and maybe something more as they walked inside. Hand in hand, the stars outside shone brighter than ever, a new beginning for them and for all.